If you're starting slow pitch softball and coming from baseball, whether it's varsity or college baseball or even pro baseball, here are 10 things that you should know about this new game, this new community that you're joining. So if you're new here, I'm Blewett. I was a former pro baseball player. I was a pitcher. And when I retired, I never thought I would play competitively again because I had a great career. It was very hard. I had Tommy John twice. I have a lot that I'm grateful for, but I was very beat up emotionally and physically when I retired. I just didn't think I had anything to prove to anyone, and I felt like I'd gotten enough. That turned out to not to be true. 3 or 4 years later, I was like, I just want to play catch with someone. And then I eventually begrudgingly signed up for slow pitch softball, made some friends, it spread. And now I play this game the same way I did in the backyard when I was 9 years old. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm not overly competitive about it. I don't want to be a pro softball player. I just love swinging a bat, throwing, running around in 3 dimensions, catching fly balls, being mediocre on ground balls. And just this community has been amazing. So you should just know all of that prepare to be surprised by what you might find diving into slow pitch. So that's my first thing. That's my preface to you. But let me give you 10 things and stick around until number 10 because number 10 is really important, especially if you're coming from college or pro baseball. All right, number 1, slow pitch softball communities are great, especially the lowest level ones, co-ed, rec softball. If you get into men's league, higher level, really competitive slow pitch softball, you might not like the experience because it becomes very competitive and you get a lot of men who have this ego that they're trying to prove something that you probably already proved to yourself as a former baseball player. So I would really recommend starting with co-ed and low level. Even if you feel like I have way too much skill to play in this league, do it for the actions and the communities. The communities are amazing. I have found so many great friends who are very different from me, all walks of life, all types of odd jobs and work that they do. I've been really blessed to get out of the baseball bubble and meet so many interesting people. So I would recommend that you start at the co-ed or the rec level. Even if the level of play seems low, the community there is awesome. Number 2, the flight of fly balls in the outfield is strange. It is different than baseball. And the reason is this ball is so big, especially when you get underneath it and you backspin it, you'll see line drives that just hover where you feel like, okay, I'm tracking this, and then it continues to cruise a little farther. Balls knuckle a lot more in softball than they do in baseball. I've caught a humpback liner in the outfield, hit very hard, but not like a clean line drive, that knuckled like 1 foot in 3 different directions before I caught it, and it was terrifying. So overall, because of the weird spin, you can hit this 300 feet with almost no spin. It can knuckle. You can hit it 300 feet with crazy backspin where it hovers. You can hit it 300 feet with top spin. The fly ball tracking is strange in slow pitch softball. So just be prepared. Even if you were a college or pro outfielder and you're amazing at tracking fly balls, I was a varsity outfielder, so I'm pretty good, but I'm not amazing. Just be prepared for some weird stuff. There's a breaking in period for sure about how this softball flies off the bat. Number 3, be prepared for terrible, wicked hops on the infield. I'm here at a turf field, so this is an exception to that rule. But if you're playing on these municipal dirt fields, they get chewed up real fast. There's youth baseball games, youth fast pitch games, slow pitch games all the time. And these fields get real bumpy and ball speeds are real high. The amount of bad hops I see is crazy. And to be honest, you got to have some real courage to be in the infield, especially with guys who are hitting the ball really hard. So even if you're a great infielder, be prepared to make lots of errors just because, look, you could not have predicted that hop. Even the little slightly different hop than you're predicting, and now it eats you up, and the bases are so short, you're not going to have time to make that play. So be prepared to be humbled in the infield. Number 4, there's a lot of weird cultish behavior in slow pitch, especially on the internet, and some just strange kind of gatekeeping where they generally don't like baseball players dropping into their game. I think it's just an insecurity thing because they know if you come from college baseball and you jump on the slow pitch field, aside from your swing being not quite suited for this exactly, which we'll cover, you know the game very well. And you have a lot of skills to hit the ground running and potentially be better than someone who's been playing slow pitch for 10, 20, 30 years. And I think that's frustrating to people. And so when you read some of the online stuff, you'll see this come out where they insist that the slow pitch swing is so different that you couldn't possibly understand as a baseball player. And that the game is so different that so many baseball players struggle at slow pitch. It's not really true. So you'll probably sniff this out. I get a lot of really negative comments, especially from Facebook, from men who are just like, your swing sucks, you swing like a child. There's a lot of egos and negativity and just childishness in slow pitch. So just be prepared. You will definitely get a whiff of it. All right, if you're coming from baseball to slow pitch, let's talk about the swing. So people act like the swing is completely different. It's not. The way you produce power, the way you stand, the way you set up, all the things that helped you hit the ball hard as a baseball player still applies as a softball player. Chances are you'll hit the ground running and smash the ball from day one. That was the case with me, and I was a pitcher, and I was a varsity hitter. I hit 3-hole in my varsity team, but that was 20 years ago. And then I was a pitcher all through college, all through pro ball, and I put the bat in my hand and I raked from day one. Now, my swing, I've been flattening it out. Let's talk about that. My swing with the baseball slight uppercut being on plane with a baseball does not play quite as well on the slow pitch field. Yes, you will hit tons of line drives still and hit the ball very hard, but you'll hit top spin liners a lot more than backspin. The trajectory is so steep of the slow pitch softball coming down that you don't want to have uppercut because it makes it very easy to get underneath and hit a pop-up. Or if you hit it kind of through the center, you're usually going to put topspin on it, which again, if you hit the crap out of it, it doesn't matter. Topspin line drives are base hits the same as backspin line drives. However, it's true that if you just flatten out your swing, now you let the ball provide the trajectory, and the flat path of your bat makes it less likely for you to pop up and much more likely for you to get backspin, which will shoot some of those line drives into the gap rather than top spinning and maybe checking up where the left center fielder can grab it. Really, those are the big things. Now, when you flatten out your swing, you do kind of shift your weight forward a little more. You can't be on your backside as much. Some of your swing mechanics really won't allow you to flatten your swing out that much, so you'll feel it start to change a little bit. But honestly, that's kind of the fun part of like learning this new sport, is like adapting your swing to the new game. But for people who will say you can't play baseball with a baseball or softball with a baseball swing, it's not that big of a deal. Go out there, have fun. If you want to change your swing and flatten it out, do it. If you don't want to, don't worry about it. But if you if you get barrel to the ball and you hit the ball hard, you're going to get on base a ton, because look, bases are 60 feet. You smash a 90-mile-per-hour line drive, it's going to be a hit 8 or 9 out of 10 times. But overall, take your swing into the game, hit the ball hard, and good things will happen. And if you do decide to flatten your swing out and adapt it for slow pitch, you'll just be even better. Next, let's talk gloves when you're transitioning from baseball to slow pitch. Especially if you're an infielder, you probably did amazing with your 11.5, 11 3/4, and you could play shortstop and be great with an 11.5 inch, 11 3/4 inch, 12 inch glove, because you're already good at fielding ground balls, right? But here's the thing, the softball is going to take up pretty much your entire glove. It fills out a lot of space. So what most players figure out over time, once you get comfortable with it, I know this glove's pink, bear with me, is they transition to a baseball outfielder's glove like this one. This is 12 3/4 inch. And so what you can see here is basically 12 3/4 with a softball is the same ball to mitt ratio of baseball with an 11 3/4. So as an infielder, especially if you're going from baseball and you're very good, you can get by with this. It's fine because you have great hands, right? You're good. But the ball speeds are really high off the bat. And a lot of times you're just stabbing at it, trying to snag it in the hole, trying to snag it here, trying to catch that line drive. And the extra glove length really does make a big difference. I know you won't necessarily need it to field 80% of ground balls, but you will need it to snag those 95-mile-per-hour liners in the hole. Most high-level slow-pitch softball players in the infield, they use a 12 3/4 or 13. And in the outfield, players use up to 14 or even 15. I like my 14 in the outfield. I often play with a 12 3/4 inch baseball glove because I have a bunch of them. And those are totally fine, but consider sizing up eventually when you do switch to slow pitch. All right, let's talk bats. So if you're transitioning from baseball to slow pitch, there's a big difference. Slow pitch bats are very hot. They are very light. So basically just 25 to 28 ounces. And most players swing 25 or 26 or 27. I did a testing video, I'll link to it in the video below or in the description below, where I tested 4 of the same exact bat, actually these Easton Salvos. My friends at Just Bats sent me 4 of the same one in 4 different weights. And I tested them all off the batting tee with extra velocity, and guess what? They were basically all the same, which seems a little surprising, but you swing the 25 a little faster, even though it has a little less force behind it, and you swing the 28 a little bit slower, even though it has a little more force behind it, and it basically evens out. So even though you're probably used to a 34-31 or a 33-30, and you think 26, that's like a kid's weight, you'll get used to it and you'll like whipping it through the zone and all will be well. But just, I would say, err on the side of being light, of swinging a lighter bat, because there is no benefit to swinging a heavier bat in slow pitch softball. The other thing to know is slow pitch bats come in a million iterations: 1-piece, 2-piece, composite aluminum, composite barrel aluminum handle, end loaded or balanced, all the different weights and lengths, dual stamp or USA or USSSA. So you got to make sure you do your diligence. I'll link to my bat video below, kind of walking you through it all. It's honestly kind of overwhelming. Baseball doesn't have nearly as many choices as slow pitch, and people are obsessed with bats in slow pitch softball. So it's important to know that as you get into it, I would say ease into it, try to borrow your friends' bats on your teams and start to get a feel, but really pay attention to weights and how they make you feel in the batter's box. Whether you like end-loaded or balance more, you'll probably prefer end-loaded as a baseball player. But overall, the wild world of bats and slow pitch it's a lot. Next thing to know when you're transitioning from baseball to slow pitch is you will not throw many runners out from the outfield. Here's why. Number one, throwing a softball compared to a baseball is miserable. It's really hard to make this thing go straight. I was a pitcher, so spinning a baseball and being very in tune with how pitches leave my hand was literally my whole life. It is so hard for me to throw a softball with good spin. I throw with 2 fingers with my ring finger like a little bit on the side. That's most comfortable. I just don't like the feel of 3 fingers on top as much. That's the best way to get good spin, to be quite honest. I just don't want to throw it like that. It's just hard to get this thing to fly true. You'll get a lot of bullet spin. You'll get a little bit of side spin mixed in. And when you throw that thing on a line over 200 feet, it'll be straight, and then turbo sync 7 feet offline. You just like won't get someone. It's extremely hard. Even for me as a baseball guy who still has a really good arm, it's extremely hard for me to throw it home on a line and it actually land a home plate. Like sometimes it'll track really straight. Other times it'll literally sink and run 9 feet off target. Other times it'll die because I get a little cut spin on it. And again, I threw baseballs for a living. So prepare to be frustrated throwing a softball. In the infield, it's not really that big of a deal because the throws are very short. Like that's another thing to get accustomed to. But in the outfield, if you're trying to host someone from right center at third base, it's still a 180-foot throw probably. It's hard to get the ball to track straight. So just be prepared. Don't be too gung-ho because runners will move up. Hit the cutoff man, throw to the pitcher in the center of the field as your cutoff man, and just be really judicious about when you try to throw runners out at home or at third. Because if you're not really sure you have a chance of getting them, it's better to hit the cutoff man rather than allow everyone else to move up. But you'll also figure this out on your own. So make mistakes, make your throws, and you will learn the same thing that I have, that a lot of times trying to get that runner out the plate or third base is not worth it because runners move up and it becomes a negative outcome if you make that long throw when it's so hard to throw it straight on a line. Next, the uniforms are horrendous, so prepare to be embarrassed. The design is terrible. Most teams look like clowns in slow pitch softball. Now you can embrace this. One of my teams has a jersey. It's a cat in an astronaut suit. So we embrace that, but they actually could kind of look sharp. But some of these, they're like pinstripes and a gradient and they're purple and blue and they're like, people look like clowns. So I really struggle with the uniforms in slow pitch softball. The design is bad. The colors are bad. I just think everything about it's pretty bad. Like, why can't we like look clean like the Dodgers? I don't know. People don't like it. But anyway, be prepared to be embarrassed by the uniform that you wear in slow pitch. Last one, and this is really important for people transitioning from baseball to slow pitch. You will have to unlearn a lot of the ways that you treated and supported your teammates. Here's what I mean. Most of the plays that you make in college baseball, pro baseball, varsity baseball, we expect to make those plays, right? Running catch in the outfield, yeah, that was a nice catch, but like also you make that catch pretty much every time, right? Yeah, we high five for like the diving catches and the really nice plays and the times you strike out the side and you like get that key strikeout to end an inning. Those are the times where we really high five and like, yeah, way to go. In slow pitch softball, I want you to get comfortable high fiving people for the can of corn fly ball that you expect them to catch 1,000 out of 1,000 times. I've had to unlearn this where I'm like, yeah, I expect you to catch that, but hey, nice catch, right? It really wasn't a nice catch. It was an easy catch. We all expected you to make that catch, right? But nice catch, because that's the vibe that we want, because we want this to be a positive, supportive experience. And I didn't really realize until I started playing slow pitch that baseball was not that. There were so many expectations. It was so difficult. There was so many, like we are supposed to do all of this stuff every time, right? Especially at the pro level, you're expected to do so many things flawlessly and we just lose track of that. And look, I drop fly balls once in a while. I overthrow the cutoff man and it hurts us. A runner moves up. I throw to the plate and it veers off course and it goes to the backstop. I make a lot of mistakes. I pop up with the bases loaded sometimes. Everyone makes mistakes in this game and it's okay. And so I want you to go out of your way to praise your teammates for everything they do and just contribute to this overall really positive culture in slow pitch. It will feel weird at first, I promise, but it will feel good and you will understand the farther you get into it. So take care of your teammates, especially as someone who came from baseball. People are going to look up to you. And when you can show that you care about them and that you support them and that you're not rolling your eyes because you can do stuff that they can't, when you are the person that says, hey, great catch, that means a lot coming from someone like you. Take that as your torch to light to create this great culture on your slow pitch team. All right, so that's it. This is a long video, but what else do you have to contribute to this? So other people who are watching this who aren't new, please throw some stuff in the comments below. And if you're new to softball, what else? What other questions do you have? Leave them in the comments section and we'll start a discussion about it. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you here in the next video.